Marseille nil, Liverpool 3. What a night. What a night at the Velodrome. Liverpool turned the Velodrome into their playground last night in what was a very, very good performance. A very good performance. I was shocked. I think a lot of Liverpool fans were shocked. This was a banana skin waiting to happen for Liverpool. We know about Roberto De Zerbi. We know about his style of play from his time at Brighton. If anybody's been following Marseille, we know that they're a very good side. Marseille plays some very good football at times. Strong, well-drilled. And yet, Liverpool actually passed the Marseille with... Well, I'm I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. Big up to each and every single one of you for being here. Hope you're doing well on Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, it is Thursday. I am losing track of my days. Thursday morning. Like I say, hope we're all doing well today. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you're up to today. And above all, talk some football with me, people. That is why we are here, of course. Uh, you are a Liverpool fan, whether you're a Newcastle fan, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you're watching from. Obviously, talk some football with me here today, people. Would be really appreciated from each and every single one of you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Um, just making sure everything's okay before we continue. Seems good. Seems good. Just let me know because I don't know if the audio is a bit playing up, and I don't understand why that would be. I feel like it's okay. But obviously, just keep you updated, people, just in case it obviously goes a little dodgy. But no, Liverpool were amazing. Liverpool, it was one of our better performances of the season last night. Everybody played very, very well. I don't think there was a necessarily bad performance in the team at all last night. I think it was a game in which pleasantly surprised a lot of us. It was, in my opinion, a very, very good performance. And as the title suggests, we destroyed Marseille. We destroyed Marseille. They were restricted to very little in the game. They came into it a little bit more in the second half than the first. That is to be expected with the way that they performed in the first half being so poor. But Liverpool controlled the game for the most part. And the beautiful thing about it is this system that we have now, which morphed into a 4-4-2 at times. Salah being back in the team, Ekatike playing out of his skin. The only thing that was missing from Ekatike's game last night was a goal or an assist, which he was very unfortunate not to get. Everybody playing out their skin. Szoboszlai was back to his best. Gravenberch was back to his best. That was one of the better performances I've seen in a long time from Ryan Gravenberch. I thought he was absolutely amazing in that midfield role that he played last night. McAllister was very good. Wirtz was good. Salah was good. Frimpong was very good. Van Dijk was very good. Gomez at centre back was brilliant. To say that he's been out in the cold for a long, long time, Gomez was brilliant last night. And again, I've been calling for Gomez to start as centre back for a long, long time because of the way that he plays. And the way that obviously he's better with the ball at his feet, in my opinion, than what Ibrahima Konate is. And, you know, no knock on Konate. Past few games, he's actually been all right. But I prefer Gomez at centre-back than Konate. Fingers crossed, obviously, Gomez can stay fit to play that role. But I hope now he's thrown a bit of a selection headache in the direction of Arne Slot for future games to come. Alisson was brilliant to keep a clean sheet, but for me, Milos Kerkez, that guy was awesome. That guy was awesome going forward. That guy was awesome defensively. What a difference it makes playing your natural wing-back in a wing-back position. None of this inverted BS. None of this, I want to play you more narrow, absolute ridiculousness that we have seen from Milos Kerkez all season. I've been singing the praise of this guy. I've been telling each and every single one of you and anybody and everybody that would listen that Milos Kerkez is better as a wide wing-back. He will come good when he is a wide wing-back. When he plays out wide, when he's an outlet, when he's not doing this inverted stuff. Plays out wide, and guess what? You are now seeing Milos Kerkez in a brand new light. The kind of light that we saw a lot from him last season when he was at Bournemouth and when he was being rated as one of the best left backs in the Premier League throughout the entirety of last season. That is what we saw. That is what we are seeing right now. Big up to Milos Kerkez. Absolutely incredible stuff from that young man right there. And I'm so glad that we are seeing it. Like I said, big up to each and every single one of you that are already here on this Thursday morning. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. I cannot thank you enough for the love and support on this channel already. And hopefully, long may it continue as we continue to build this incredible community. Big up Dean, who's already in the building. He says, good morning, Fletcher. I know we won, but how was the performance, mate? Big win, obviously, in terms of obviously qualifying for the Champions League knockout stages. We've got one more game to go. Obviously, it's against Karabakh, so the odds are somewhat in our favour in that regard. Hopefully, we can now finish the job, even if being at Anfield has been a little bit awkward for us this season. But last night, there was a system that we've all been crying out for all year long, that played to each and every single one of those players' strengths. It was a system in which everybody looked comfortable last night. It was a system in which was a little bit of a throwback in terms of going 4-4-2 at times, but it worked. It was effective. And now we just want this going forward. This is a system that can work going forward. This is a system that even if we get Isak back in a few months' time, even with now Salah back, it can work. This is a system that can 100% work for us going forward. It can be effective. And I know that I've previously stated that I can't see Liverpool winning the Champions League because I think there are, at the very least, 3 teams that are better than us in terms of PSG, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona. I have also said that you can never rule out the Champions League heritage of Liverpool Football Club. So as much as I think that if we are to hit one of those 3 teams in particular, it's probably curtains for us in terms of the Champions League for this season. I've also said never rule out Liverpool. Never rule out Liverpool, because this competition does throw up some surprises every now and again. Every now and again, the best team that wins this competition isn't normally the best team in the tournament. Liverpool know that more than anyone. 2005, for example, we did deserve to win that tournament, but we ended up doing it. So don't rule us out by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, we've got a long way to go. Yes, it is going to be extremely difficult. And yes, if we hit one of Barcelona, Bayern Munich, or PSG, I think we could very much struggle in that regard. But you know what? This system works. It was a brilliant performance last night. It was a brilliant result for obvious reasons. But now I want to see this going forward. I want to see the consistency going forward. I want to see this performance, or this level of performance, should I say, going forward. Because every single time that we feel like we've hit every single time that I feel like we've hit potentially a ignition point this season. Every time I feel like we've had one of these kind of, okay, let's kick on from this kind of moments this season, it's always proven to be a bit of a false start. Whether it be against Aston Villa, Real Madrid, when we had those kind of couple of games, and then we obviously go and absolutely get battered by Man City, or whether it was against Frankfurt, or whether it was against other teams that we've said, right, or Inter, for example, we've done really well, big win. Let's kick on from this point because this system works. This works here, that works there. Let's kick on from this point. It's always proven to be a false start. And then we've gone and just failed in our next game. If we go to Bournemouth and we put in a poor performance again and we drop points, whether it be by a draw or by a loss, I know it's the Premier League and the Champions League is different, and we have been better in the Champions League, barring that PSV result, and obviously Galatasaray as well to boot. But I want to see the consistency going forward. I want us to at least make a big effort to obviously do as best as we can and make the best that we can in the league to secure Champions League football for next season at the very least, so that once that does occur, because obviously it's such an inconsistent race between everybody that's racing for those Champions League spots, we can then, once we secured that, focus on the FA Cup. We can focus on the Champions League and make the best of what has been an absolute train wreck of a season so far. Do I think we'll do it? Like I say, long way to go. There's some really difficult teams that we need to avoid, and hopefully they get each other to knock each other out. That might make it easier for us, but we shall wait and see. Even Gakpo scored. Yeah, it was actually a decently taken goal as well by Gakpo, and he actually dropped him last night. That was the incredible bit. Arne Slot dropped Gakpo. Amazing. Absolutely outstanding that happened. Look, again, I don't wish to try and make anybody a scapegoat. I don't try and make it, but if you're playing poorly, I'm going to call it out for what it is. And Gakpo has not been playing well these past few games, deservedly dropped, and the team rallied around that. And like I say, Gakpo does have a place in this team. If his performances improve, then 100% he can be welcomed back into the fold. But for right now, he needs to be on the bench. He needs to be brought on with 10, 20, 25 minutes to go, and we'll take it from there, because I do feel like he can be dangerous. Big up Jane who's in the building. Hope you're doing well. Big up Paisley who's in the building. Big up Nicholas as well. Lovely to have you here, all of you. So looking so damn cute today. That's just natural. Just natural, I'm afraid. Big up Subway Turkey Sandwich. Okie dokie. Big up Tom Meadows says Arsenal. Obviously not. I don't know exactly what me not being a Scouser has to do with anything. But big up for you being here, friend. You very strange comment. Guess what? The manager isn't a Scouser. A large majority of the senior players are not Scousers. So, don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you. You're talking about soccer, I assume. Football, but I guess if you're American, then yes. Big up Nems is in the building. Great to have you here, my friend. I hope you're doing well on this Thursday morning. Big up to you, bro. Massive result for us last night. Massive result for us last night. In regards to Liverpool Football Club. And like I say, that win is massive because it puts us in fourth in the Champions League phase table. We are a point above Spurs. We are joint level on points with Real Madrid. I'm assuming it's not based on head to head because obviously we would probably be above Real Madrid if it was. So I'm assuming it's based purely on goal difference. And the fourth is nothing to be knocked at. I don't necessarily know who we get or what kind of grouping we'd get in the knockout stages, if obviously things remain there. So with a win, Liverpool could potentially, well, the highest Liverpool could get is probably going to be third. The goal difference between us and Bayern is just too high. Unless we get like a massive 10-0 or something and Bayern lose, the goal difference is too high on Bayern's part for us. So the chances are is that the highest we can finish is third with a win over Karabag. A loss could see us fall out the top 8, but it would obviously depend on other results elsewhere. 6th versus 7th play each other in terms of PSG versus Newcastle going into the final game. So there's bound to be, so there's guaranteed drop points there. But as far as who can catch us, obviously Chelsea have got Napoli. That's going to be a massive game. That both teams are in desperate need of winning that one. Napoli obviously need to win to maintain their position in the competition going through to the knockout stages. Chelsea obviously just clinging on. They're only just qualifying by the skin of their teeth. Barcelona are in 9th. Massive win for them last night. Sporting with a shock win over PSG. That was massive for Sporting. So in terms of Sporting as well, Sporting can obviously overtake us if they win and we lose. Man City are also at the moment in the knockout stages, but they are obviously struggling. Who do they have? Galatasaray. They've got Galatasaray in the in their final game, which you would expect to probably be a win, but then again, you were probably expecting them to beat Bodo Glimt. So, anything can really happen there. And Atletico are obviously on 13 points. Atalanta are on 13 points. Inter are on 12, but if they win and we lose, it's going to be interesting to see how the goal difference plays into account there. And Juventus are also on 12 with a goal difference of +4, whilst we're on a goal difference of +6. So again, it's a large number of teams that, depending on who they're playing and depending on what the score lines are going to be, it will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see what does occur going into that final league phase game. But it does make it interesting. Like I say, I've actually enjoyed this new Champions League format for the past couple of years. I think it has made it a lot more interesting than the usual. The top 2 teams are the favourites. They normally go through. The other groups, every other group probably has a third place team that could go into the next round. But usually it is the top 2. Third gets into the third, and then whoever's in pot 4 is just there to make up the numbers. I actually do like this format. I actually do find it a lot more exciting and entertaining. So, like I say, big up to the champions, big up to UEFA for actually making it a lot more interesting than what it usually is. I've actually quite enjoyed it these past couple of years, and going into the final league phase game, where I think everybody barring Bayern and Arsenal are probably in jeopardy. Because no one wants to obviously play the extra 2 games. No one wants to play those extra 2 games in February as qualifiers. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, who we get. Because as we know as Liverpool fans, just because you came top of the league doesn't necessarily mean you get an easy game in the next round. We got PSG last year, as Arne Slot likes to mention in every press conference he's ever been in since. So, yeah, it's going to make it very interesting, and I'm for one, I'm very excited whether Liverpool get there or not. uh, I am not. I am not a source. Fair enough. I'm glad you're doing well, my friend. Glad you're doing well. I'm good as well, my bro. Big up Rodrigo's in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. It was a great win and a great performance in general. Hopefully, we can be consistent in the Premier League as well. That's the hope. That is the hope. The hope is that we can as well be consistent in the Premier League as what we are in the Champions League. That would be massive if that was to be the case. But like I say, we've had too many false starts for me to start believing and thinking that right now. Maybe. Maybe this might be the kickstart we need. Maybe. I don't know. Like I say, we've had too many false starts this season for us to be jumping the gun. But at the same time, like I say, fantastic performance, a good system, a system that suited everybody. Everybody was comfortable in that system. It really did work and play to our strengths. And it was just it was something that neutralized neutralized Marseille for the most part, but also we look very dangerous going forward. We look very, very dangerous going forward. We can win the Champions League. I agree with you. Never rule out Liverpool. Never rule out Liverpool, and never rule out a sort of outsider in the Champions League. Because I guess you could call us outsiders now based on our performances this season. But as I mentioned earlier, normally the best team, the winning team in the Champions League doesn't normally have to be the best team. That's what knockout football does. When Chelsea won it, both times, I wouldn't say Chelsea were the best teams in the tournament, but they were outsiders and they ended up winning it. Liverpool in 2005 weren't considered the best team. They were considered outsiders despite their Champions League heritage. They still won it. So you don't have to always be the best team in the tournament. You just have to be in with a chance and be in the right place at the right time. Szoboszlai clears Rice. When he's on form like that, I will admit that I think Declan Rice is brilliant. I'm not taking anything away from Declan Rice. But when Szoboszlai's on form, like he was last night, back to his best, tell me what Rice does that Szoboszlai doesn't. And I think Rice is brilliant, by the way. And again, I'm not knocking Declan Rice. And I don't want Arsenal fans to be, crying because, I didn't put Declan Rice in the category of the best midfielder of all time because, that's what Arsenal fans seem to want to do. He's fantastic. I'm not taking anything away from Declan Rice. But I would like to know that when both players are in their best form, what exactly does Declan Rice offer that Szoboszlai doesn't? Let me know. Let me know. Big up Durgan is in the building. I don't know what that is, but I hope you are doing well, my friend. Glad that you're here with us. I agree with Lawrence McKenna's match reaction. I've not actually seen his match reaction. You'll have to let me know what basically he said, but I can't imagine it's anything real negative about it because, like I say, I imagine a lot of Liverpool fans were going into last night's game maybe not exactly the most optimistic, given obviously how Marseille play. We all know about Roberto De Zerbi. We all know that he's got this Marseille team well drilled and playing pretty well. I can't imagine a lot of us were going into last night's game with a lot of excitement or optimism But we came out of it with flying colours. Like I say, Liverpool were very much deserving of that massive win. And it was a massive win at that, because obviously, we needed it, especially with other teams the previous night dropping points, City dropping points. Who else dropped points last night? There was another couple of teams that dropped points that were somewhat above us. Obviously, Tottenham beat Dortmund, of course. Like I say, PSG lost last night. Massive win for Newcastle as well. Massive win for Newcastle. Very, very good win against PSV. I wish we could. Chelsea were made to battle for their win. Obviously, Barcelona did struggle for most of the game and then ended up coming back to win. Sporting, a massive win. City, huge loss. Atletico obviously dropped points to Galatasaray. So, yeah, it was obviously a much needed win for Liverpool last night, and we ended up getting there and getting the job done, and that's exactly what we needed. That's exactly what we needed. As far as what Liverpool are concerned in the Champions League. And like I say, there's no agendas here. There's no agendas here at all. Like, I will call it as I see it. That doesn't make me a flip-flop or anything. I'm still slot out even after last night because, like I say, I'm not going to base those kinds of opinions off of one or two results. I need to see sustainability and consistency across a greater scale going deeper into the season. So at this moment in time, still slot out. I don't think that really needs to be debated or said. But at the same time, if he continues to play in this kind of vein of form, if he continues to play like this, if he continues to, use his brain in the best tactical way possible to play like this, but to also tactically tweak small things to accommodate for the opposition, then I will be happy. I will be very, very happy. But like I say, you still got a long way to go. But that's not to say that, I will purposefully hold an agenda here. There is definitely no agendas here. If a player plays well, I'll call it out. If he plays poorly, I'll call it out. Same with the manager. Same with the board. There's no agendas. Szoboszlai clears Rice on most things. Like I say, when they're both on form, tell me what Rice offers that Szoboszlai doesn't. I'm waiting. Lawrence is starting to think Slot is going to end until the end of the season. It does seem that way now. And it's a risk because Xabi Alonso is available for the here and now. So it's a massive risk because I'm looking at the Pep Guardiola situation and I'm worried. I'm worried about Man City and Pep Guardiola right now. And the reason I'm worried about Man City and Pep Guardiola is because the past couple of games, it just looks like Pep's hunger's gone. It looks like Pep is just done. He's going through the motions a little bit. He's sort of tired. He wants a break mentally and physically from the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it as far as what Guardiola is concerned. But after being so much, so deeply intensified in the game for so many years, I wouldn't be surprised if he was drained. I wouldn't be surprised if he was tired. That's what happened with Jurgen Klopp. And a lot of people laughed at him and said, "Oh, what, you're tired?" Yeah, because guess what? He's been so deeply intensified in the game for so many years that it does take its toll on you. It does take its toll on you. Like, having your job basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as a manager, coming up with tactics, coming up with ways to play, talking with the players, training with the players, coming up with new training methods and things like that. It does take its toll on you, as well as having to juggle a personal life, as well as obviously having to juggle all of those kinds of other aspects in life and everything like that. It does take its toll on you. I wouldn't be surprised if Guardiola right now is thinking, you know what, maybe it might be time to call this at the end of the season. And that worries me, because if he goes to the board tomorrow and says, thank you, but I am leaving at the end of the season, the wheels will already be in motion to find his successor. And you know who strikes me as the perfect successor to Pep Guardiola at Manchester City? A certain Xabi Alonso. And that's where I think Liverpool may miss the boat. And if we miss the boat on this one, I'm worried. I am genuinely worried, because I think Xabi Alonso would walk into that City team and he would get them playing. He'd get them playing again. He'd fire them up, give them some intensity. And that's where I worry, because, again, we would miss the opportunity. We would miss having a quality manager. That's where I worry. That is where I worry. In terms of this whole Alonso situation. But obviously time will tell on that one. But like I say, having seen Manchester City these past couple of games, having seen the way that Guardiola's acted, I would not be surprised if the hunger, the desire has just drained from him a little bit and he just wants a break. I wouldn't be surprised if he took a couple of years, at the very least, of a break. And maybe he's looking at maybe the Spanish job, maybe in a couple of years' time, as maybe something he can take charge of. I don't know. But either way, keep an eye on Xabi Alonso and Man City. That's all I will say on that one. I would not be surprised if that is an avenue that City decide to explore, should Guardiola feel like he needs to step away from the game for a while. And especially because he's available right now, I think it only intensifies that story. It was interesting to see Liverpool playing 4-4-2 or 4-2-2-2 at times, with Salah more centre forward. Frimpong and Kirkes were absolutely brilliant, in my opinion. Vamos, is what Rodrigo says. And you're absolutely right, mate. You're absolutely right. Szoboszlai on that right-hand side was brilliant. Wirtz on the left. The only thing I would say is that I would like to see Wirtz more central and Ekitike more on the left. That's the only small criticism I sort of have, because I do feel like if we are to play Salah more centrally, Ekitike should be the one to drift, because obviously he can take on a man. He's got that burst of pace. He's got that bit of skill and that bit of flair to get past his man. I would love to see Ekitike more on the left, but I understand that him playing more centrally, the way that he likes to drop deep and he likes to link up play and stuff, works for his game. But yes, absolutely. The kind of throwback 4-4-2 into the 4-2-2, and then obviously the interchange, the fluidity in the formation, whether it's out of possession or in possession, was very, very good to see last night. I did absolutely enjoy watching that in full flow. Xabi is a good manager. He absolutely is. The problem with Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid was he put his career in the hands of the wrong people and the wrong club. At Real Madrid, there are exceptionally high standards that need to be met. And there is a very fine margin, a very thin margin for error. And he was the right man. Sorry, he was the wrong man at the right time, if that makes sense. He is not the manager that Real Madrid wanted, but he might have been the one that they needed, and they've missed the boat on it. Me too, as Liverpool, I always want my team to win, despite the fact that I dislike the coach. I am still slot out. I want Alonso to take over, but that doesn't mean I want my team to lose. Never. Exactly, mate. This is 100% real. I've always said this as well. Like, I don't care if I'm the manager out. I don't care if I dislike certain players. There is no agendas. I want what's best for Liverpool Football Club, and that would include winning every single game. I want Liverpool to win every single game from here until the end of the season. I really, really do. And if that means we win an FA Cup, if that means we win a Champions League, and if that also then means that Slot stays for at least one more year, then so be it, because he's proved us all wrong, because I don't see us winning silverware this season. But if he proves me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and moan. I'm not going to sit here and be like, he's only gone and won as the FA Cup and Champions League. I'm so depressed because it means he's going to be staying here. I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to say, you know what, honest thought, you proved me wrong. You deserve to stay for at least one more year, maybe, or however long it takes until the wheels completely fall off, or whatever the case may be. But I'm not going to sit here and be like depressed that we won a game of football ever, regardless of my feelings towards the manager or certain players or the club. Like, at the end of the day, I'm Liverpool Football Club, not Arnie Slot FC. So, yeah, I 100% agree. Big up Nathaniel's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. He simply says, Miss Kloppo. You and me both, mate. You and me both. What a guy. What an absolute gem. Big up Jurgen Klopp, man. And big up yourself as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well on this Thursday morning. Xabi comes to Liverpool next. I hope you're right, my friend. I really do hope you're right. I do feel like he could potentially be like the next big thing in management. I really do feel like that. PSG manager is going in the season. As I said the other day, Luis Enrique is the only manager that I would take over Xabi Alonso right now. Luis Enrique is the only manager that I would take over Xabi Alonso. But it depends on what you want. If you want a sort of win now manager who will take over a club and maybe spend 3 years there as a maximum, go for Luis Enrique. If you want a manager that could probably spend 5, 6, 7, maybe even more years, 8, 9, maybe even a decade at your club, maybe go Xabi Alonso. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because if obviously Luis Enrique is going to be going and leaving PSG at the end of the season, I know his contract expires 2027. So, again, it's similar to Guardiola. It's similar to Guardiola. In fact, both managers' contracts expire 2027, but there's a good possibility that maybe they go a year early. It's going to be very interesting because I know Enzo Maresca's in the picture as well. And obviously, that kind of follows suit. Pep disciple, student of Pep Guardiola, going to manage Pep Guardiola's club. Obviously, he knows Man City from his time there, that kind of thing. But it's going to be interesting if obviously it's a battle between Xabi Alonso and Luis Enrique. And let's say Slot goes as well. Does one go to City, one go to Liverpool? That could be very interesting. I would love to see Luis Enrique in the Premier League. I hope obviously it's not going to be with City, but I do imagine that could potentially be the case. I think maybe his ties to Barcelona may rule him out of like a potential job at Real Madrid. So I do feel like the next big club would be in the Premier League for him. Unless, of course, Bayern decides to get rid of Vincent Kompany and Enrique goes to Bayern, in which case Bayern are attempting to secure a Champions League winning manager. Because let's face it, when you go to Bayern, the league should be pretty much a given. It's just the Champions League that you're mainly judged on. And they could win it this year, Bayern. They very much could with the front three that Bayern have. Like, They very much could win this competition. I do think they're a little suspect defensively, but they very much could win it. But if they don't, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Vincent Kompany come the end of the season. So we shall see. It was a sweet win last night because everyone wants Liverpool to fail. So I think Liverpool has stuck the middle finger up to those people. Be really nice for Liverpool to show some consistency now, and I 100% agree. Like I say though, we've had too many false starts. Every single time that we think maybe we've managed to find a winning formula, every single time we think we've managed to find a system that works, that we're comfortable in, that looks good, every single time we do that, it backfires on us massively. And it sort of falls apart in the next Premier League game. So fingers crossed that what you say goes, and we do manage to find some consistency. But like I say, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee, especially with this Liverpool team. Definitely not a guarantee right now. We are Liverpool FC. We most certainly are, my bro. We most certainly are. And I'm happy and I'm proud to be a part of this incredible, incredible football club. Big up to each and every single one of you that's watching and listening in the building. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and very greatly appreciated. So yes, massive win last night. Like I say, we move on to our final Champions League game against Karabag at Anfield. So it's pretty good that we've got that sorted there. Hopefully we can wrap this Champions League thing up with a win there. Like I say, the highest that we can climb is third, and that is dependent on the result that Real Madrid play out in their final game. They've got Benfica. Where are Benfica? Benfica are outside of the qualification spots, and they can still make it. Benfica, they can still make it, but they're going to have to rely on a lot of things going their way. PSV have got Bayern. Bayern have already qualified, so it'll be interesting to see if Bayern do go full strength or not, which could play into PSV's hands. Bilbao will be playing Sporting, who definitely need to win to have an attempt at automatic qualification. Olympiacos, who occupy the last knockout spot, they'll be playing Athens. No, wait. I misread that. Ajax, sorry. I misread it. They'll be playing Ajax. In the last spot in the Champions League. Well, Ajax. Oh, they are way outside of it. Ajax fell off massively. So you probably would suspect that maybe that's going to be a win for Olympiacos there. Obviously, Napoli take on Chelsea. That's going to be a massive game, that one. I can't wait to see that one. Copenhagen will be playing Barcelona. Club Brugge are taking on Marseille themselves. Bodo Glimt have still got an outside chance as well. But they'll be taking on Atletico Madrid. So there's still a lot to play for up and down the league. Like I say, we should be qualifying regardless. So the minimum position we're finishing is fourth. That's the minimum position I would suspect us finishing. We should win our game against Karabag, and that would see us safely and soundly through to the round of 16 stage of the competition. And then, obviously, dependent on how the league table finishes, it will determine our opponents in that stage. Obviously, don't count your chickens before they hatch, kind of thing. But that's how it should be. That is how it should be. But yes, fingers crossed on that one. And as far as the game went last night, look, again, it was nice to see the Liverpool players playing with a smile on their faces, playing really, really well. And it could have been a lot more. Like I say, it could have been a lot more. Ekatike did everything but score or assist last night. He actually did score, but it was ruled out offside. It was a well taken goal from Ekatike. It was just unfortunate that he just went ahead of the pass. A very well taken goal, but unfortunately offside. He hit the post in the second half after a brilliantly well worked bit of play by Liverpool. Like I say, Florian Wirtz forced an incredible save from the Marseille goalkeeper. I thought we were really, really good last night. Dominic Soboslai's free kick, beautifully smart, incredibly intelligent. Soboslai, brilliant free kick. Brilliant free kick. Everyone was just expecting him just to absolutely thunderbolt it into the top corner, and he just decides to roll it underneath the wall. Like, that is intelligent play at its highest. That is intelligent. That is smart. It was brilliant from Dominic Soboslai, and it got the ball rolling. The second goal, brilliant work from Frimpong. Brilliant work from Frimpong, who once again continues to impress. I've been saying for the past few weeks that Frimpong has been one of our best players in the squad. And now we're seeing it. I thought he was absolutely brilliant last night, Frimpong. And has been brilliant for the past few weeks. And I'm so glad we are finally seeing it. I'm so glad that after obviously a season that has been stop-start due to injuries, and for one reason or another, Slot not properly trusting him in that right back role, I'm so glad we are starting to see Jeremy Frimpong blossom this year. And big up to Jeremy freaking Frimpong. And then the third goal, Gakpo. The pass from Soboslai was brilliant. The pass from Soboslai in the build-up to that goal was brilliant. It was a lovely bit of, again, intelligent play. The awareness from Soboslai to make the turn and to make the cute little pass inside was absolutely brilliant. And it was a nicely taken finish from Gakpo. Fair play to Gakpo. Comes under a lot of criticism for his finishing, but that one was a very well taken goal. And again, it's another goal to add to the collection for Gakpo. But it's one of those things that I hope him being dropped is the kick up the backside that he needs to improve. And I'm just hoping that obviously, it proves that he's not undroppable, which he seems to be a lot this season. But I'm just hoping that will be the kick up the backside that he needs to maybe sort his performances out, because everyone needs it now and again. A lot of people do. Everybody does from time to time. Like, even Salah earlier in the season. I know obviously a lot of rival fans from the outside looking in were probably saying, "Oh, but you claim he doesn't need it. You claim he doesn't need to be dropped." No Liverpool fans said that he shouldn't be dropped. A lot of Liverpool fans basically just said that you can't be dropping Salah when you've got other players that are playing poorly that are not being dropped. So I'm hoping that will be the case. Outside of the goals and the assists and stuff, like I say, I thought everybody played really well last night. I don't think there was a bad performance in the bunch. Like I say, the two wing backs were outstanding. Milos Kerkez in particular. Wow. Milos Kerkez was brilliant last night. And it was further proof how brilliant he was. He never gave his opponent a sniff last night. And proof of that was when obviously a certain Marseille number 10, who will remain somewhat nameless, he who shall not be named, and I'm not talking Lord Voldemort, by the way, moved from the right to the left. So it just shows you how good of a game Milos Kerkez had. And even then, he barely got anything out of Frimpong on the other side as well. I thought both fullbacks were absolutely brilliant. Two centre-backs are outstanding. Sobosai was back to his best. Wirtz was very good. Salah was good. Ekatike was brilliant without getting a goal or an assist. That's what I love about Ekatike, by the way. And obviously, Nems puts it here in the chat. Ekatike is cooking. That's what I love about Ekatike. Some strikers you only notice when they get goals or when they get assists. This guy, you notice even when he doesn't. Even when he doesn't get goals or he doesn't get an assist, you notice Hugo Ekatike in the vast majority of games that he plays. That is what I love about this guy. He is involved constantly and consistently. And I always say, as a striker, yes, you are pretty much defined by how good you are. You're defined how good you are based on your goals and your assists. But I always think it's a lot more telling of a striker by what you are doing when you are not getting goals and assists. If you can get them on a consistent basis, fantastic. If you're a Harry Kane, if you're a Luis Suarez in his prime, a Lewandowski, for example, a Haaland, brilliant. You're getting goals and assists pretty much constantly and consistently. Well done, you. But what are you doing when things aren't exactly going your way in front of goal? What are you doing for your teammates to maybe create things, to maybe create space for the team, to be unselfish, to maybe sometimes be that Bobby Firmino role of being a very unselfish player that basically links up play and does stuff to create things for others, whether it be directly or indirectly. What are you doing for the team in that aspect? And Ekatike does it all. Ekatike has got incredible finishing, but he's also so good at linking play that one of my favourite players of all time at Liverpool, one of my favourite players, has always been Bobby Firmino. And he reminds me so much of Firmino with better finishing. Like, Firmino could finish, don't get me wrong, Firmino could finish. But I think Ekatike's finishing is probably a bit better than what Firmino's is. But Ekatike reminds me so much of him. It's unbelievable. And I am so happy we signed him. I am so happy we signed him. I'm so happy he's proving people wrong. That Geordie guy who, you know the one. He did the video on basically Newcastle's master plan is to get Liverpool to buy Ekatike for well over the price, and he's not very good. And for United to get Sesko, he's looking like a right muppet right now for calling out Ekatike in that video. He's looking like a right muppet for calling out Ekatike because Ekatike is insane. And I will continue to wax lyrical about the man, the myth, the legend of Hugo Ekatike. As of right now, he is absolutely brilliant, and I am so happy that he is a Red. Yeah, Ekatike was brilliant. Like I say, McAllister was very good. Apart from that one moment where he sort of miscontrolled the ball and it almost allowed Marseille on the counter-attack, I thought McAllister was very good. But Ryan Gravenberch, man, we still need a DM. There's no doubt in my mind about it. We still need a proper DM, a proper one. A proper one with mobility, a proper one with awareness, a proper one that is competent and good with the ball at his feet, that can play those kinds of passes progressively going forward. But Ryan Gravenberch, when he is playing like he did last night, is unstoppable. When he is playing like he did last night, Ryan Gravenberch, there's not many better in that position. Because yesterday, when he played that role, he was untouchable. He was untouchable. And no matter what Marseille did last night to try and stop him from progressing, from getting on the ball, from passing the ball, from moving the ball on, Ryan Gravenberch was just so resistant to anything and everything that Marseille threw at him that he was brilliant. He was outstanding. Big up to Ryan Gravenberch. And then another man I want to talk about. I mentioned him earlier, but Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez was brilliant. And he offers something, in my opinion, that Konate is so inconsistent at. He offers more consistency with his progressive passes than what Konate does. And that's what I like. I like how he likes to play the ball through the lines, beat the press, and he finds these little incisive passes going forward. Konate can offer that to a certain extent, but it's not consistent enough for me. I've said it a lot of times this season that Konate, when he's on the ball, it's something that the opposition want more often than not. They want Konate on the ball because they know that if he's on the ball, he'll struggle to make a decision or he'll struggle to execute the pass. I don't think Gomez has a real problem in that. I think Gomez is so much more confident and competent with the ball at his feet that he likes to have the ball at his feet. He likes to make those incisive passes. And we saw it a couple of times yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was either the Gakpo goal or the Florian Wirtz chance. I'm not sure which one it was, but there was one time, especially yesterday, he made that incisive pass right the way through to the middle, and then Soboslai with a little layoff. I'm pretty sure that one was the goal. It was either that or it was the Wirtz chance. I'm not 100% sure, but that was just so Joe Gomez. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely brilliant from him last night. And obviously, I know he capitalizes from Konate having personal issues that he had to obviously leave the Liverpool squad for. And I hope everything is genuinely okay with Konate. But like I say, I want to see Gomez given more of a chance. Especially if this contract situation with Konate is not going to improve. Because, once the league was wrapped up last season, it's what we did with Trent. We obviously put Connor Bradley in because, Bradley was set to become more of a mainstay at that right back position than obviously Trent, who was leaving. So if that's going to be the case, I would like to see a lot more of Joe Gomez at centre-back. I know that with the injury to Connor Bradley, it means that we may have to reserve Gomez a little bit more just in case, because obviously Frimpong is like our only right-back right now, and for whatever reason, Slot does not trust Calvin Ramsey, even though he's more of a natural right-back. I don't know why. He basically came out and said, we have a lot better options than Calvin Ramsey at right back, which I don't think you should exactly be coming out in a public press conference and saying that. But that is for one reason or another what Arne Slot decided to do. But I'd like to see Gomez more at centre-back. I really, really would. I thought he was absolutely exceptional yesterday. I really, really did. I don't think he put a foot wrong at all in the heart of the Liverpool defence. And I've often said that I do actually think Gomez and Van Dijk, when they're both on form, is our best centre back partnership. I think they complement each other really, really well. The only problem is that Gomez can't stay 100% fit. That's the only problem. If Gomez could stay fit, I think he's a top centre back. I really, really do. I think he is an unbelievable centre back. But the guy just can't stay fit. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But no, big up Joe Gomez, man. Big up Joe freaking Gomez. Gravenberch last night was more like a box-to-box midfielder and helping in defence. He was brilliant. He really, really was. He really, really was. Like I say, when he's on that kind of form, he is unstoppable. He is unstoppable, Ryan Gravenberch. But yeah, it's not exactly been a consistent thing with him this season. I think he started off the season well. I think he did start the season off really well. And then once Liverpool's performances dipped, it kind of coincided with his own form dipping. And I do feel like sometimes it is because opposition teams find him out. And I sometimes feel like, as well as opposition teams finding out, I do feel like it's also because he has been forced to play a lot of football these past, 18 months now. Under Arne Slot, he has been a consistent figure in that midfield. He has been a mainstay in that midfield. I do feel like, due to him playing a lot of football, maybe that has coincided with his form dipping as well. Which is why, again, I think like we do need to dive into the market and find a proper DM who can replace him. And sometimes we may not need that DM to play. If we are playing against, say, for example, a team near the bottom of the table, we may need Ryan Gravenberch over that DM. Maybe if we are playing a higher base team, maybe we'll need that DM over Gravenberch. Or maybe with how Gravenberch is so versatile in that midfield, maybe we could play both, but have Gravenberch play slightly more advanced. I don't know. It's anything along those lines, but DM is certainly a position in which I feel like Liverpool need to definitely address in the summer. DM and obviously centre back is going to be desperately needed to be addressed going forward. We could have actually addressed the centre back issue, but for whatever reason, we decided not to move on Mark Gahey. So yeah, it is what it is. Was last night the best performance of the season for us? I feel like Madrid was probably slightly better. And it's mad to think that, considering that we obviously beat Marseille 3-0 and we only beat Madrid 1-0. But that scoreline of 1-0 definitely flattered Madrid. That scoreline of 1-0 100% flattered Madrid. It should have been more. That result should have been more in Liverpool's favour. But obviously, through a mixture of Courtois just turning into an absolute beast against us, as per usual, and maybe a little bit of poor finishing on our side, it wasn't to be. But yeah, I would definitely say it's probably up there. I would probably say Madrid, Marseille, and because there's not been too many this season. There's not been too many good performances. Maybe Villa as well. Maybe Villa, like our top 3 performances this season. Yeah, maybe something like that. Something along those lines. But yes, like I say, it depends what way you want to look at it. I look at Madrid, and I think that was probably our best performance of the season, considering it was Real Madrid, and it should have been more goals than just the one that we got. But at the same time, yeah, last night was dominant. Last night was incredible, and like I say, we restricted Marseille to very little. They had a couple of pop shots from distance. They had one big opportunity that Alisson saved. Yeah, they had nothing. They had very, very little in the game. And that was down to just how good we were. And like I say, we need to play like that more in Europe. We need to play like that more in Europe. We can't we shouldn't be going gung ho as it is. We shouldn't be going gung ho as it is, and we shouldn't also be going and playing with the vast majority of possession either, because we're not a possession-based team. As much as maybe Slot wants us to be, we're not a possession-based team. We are so much better when we don't have as much possession. We're so much better when we drop a few yards deeper, we soak up some pressure, and we try and hit teams on the counter. It's so much better for us. It opens up more spaces, and it allows our more creative players like Salah's, Wirtz, and whoever else to get on the ball more and to actually play how they want to play. It's so much better than this possession-based stuff that Slot has tried to play for the majority of the season, that it looks so much more comfortable and natural to the players. It really, really does. And I've been saying that all season long, which is why when I look back at games and I see that Liverpool have got 60, 65, 70% possession, and we still come away with games and lose them, I'm like, because they want us to have the ball, because they know that we're slow, and they know that we're predictable, and they know that they just have to sit deep and be disciplined and wait for us to make the mistake before pouncing and counter-attacking us. That's what teams want. That's what teams want when they play against Liverpool. When we play a little deeper, how we have done against Madrid, how we did do against Inter, and how we've now done against Marseille, and when we build up from the back to the front progressively and quickly because counter-attacking options are available, that's what I want to see more, because that's what suits this team more than being a possession-based team that is slow, boring, pragmatic, all of those kinds of words. It suits us better being like this. So I'm happy that we've got a system. I'm hoping that we maintain this system. And I'm hoping that obviously we maintain the level of performances. Because like I say, I thought we were very, very good last night. Just to go through some of the stats, by the way, I was just checking before 58% possession was in Marseille's favour. Now, of course, that probably went more and more in their favour as the game wore on. But even in the first half, Marseille had 55% and were reduced to no big chances and only one total effort. Whereas in the second half, they had 61% and also one big chance and 14 chances and 14 total shots in total. And like I say, the majority of their efforts was long-range efforts. And how do you know they were long-range efforts? Because their XG was pretty low. Their XG was 0.87, and that's just for a build-up of long-range efforts. Like, Liverpool created 3 big chances on the day. Like, stats don't lie, people. When you dig a little deeper and you scratch beneath the surface, the stats do not lie. Big up. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, my friend. I really do apologize if not. I am terrible with names. If you have a preferred name that you'd like to go by, drop it in the chat. But I'm going to say Glavich. I hope I'm pronouncing that name. I do apologize if not. I do not mean to cause offense, but I hope you're doing well, my friend. I'm really glad that you're here with us on this Thursday morning. It says, hello from Macedonia. I hope your channel goes big. Thank you, my friend. Really do appreciate the kind words there. And big up to yourself and big up Macedonia. I hope everything is going well with you right now, my friend. Big up to you. So yes, massive, massive result for Liverpool last night. Much needed. Much, much needed. On to Bournemouth on Saturday. Not going to be easy. The Vitality Stadium away from home. Although maybe away from home will actually do us some good. Normally, we're actually better away from home than at home this year. Slot needs to play this way again. Slot needs to play this way again. Allow Bournemouth to have the ball. Sit a little deeper. Be stubborn. Be disciplined. Be resolute. And be ready to pounce when the opportunity presents itself. Because if we go and we play how Slot wants us to play, because I've said time and time again this season, we play better when Slot decides to revert back to a little bit of last season and drops his principles and the way that he wants to play. If we play like we did last night, we beat Bournemouth. If we play like we did last night, we beat Bournemouth. If we play how we've done for most of this season, we drop points again. If we play how we did against Burnley, we drop points. If we play how we did against Leeds, we drop points. If we play how we did against Sunderland, we drop points. We have to play how we have done against Madrid, against Inter, and against Marseille. We need to carry our Champions League form into the Premier League. No doubts, no worries, no mistakes. That's just the way it needs to be. That is just the way that it all needs to be. And I say, Bournemouth have only won once since October, and that was against Tottenham. And let's face it, with all due respect to Tottenham are normally that team that everybody looks at and goes, we can get something here, regardless of how we've been playing. Regardless of how we've been playing. No disrespect to Tottenham, like that's just the way that obviously a lot of teams see it. Wolves didn't pick up a point in the entirety of the season until they faced Tottenham. Bournemouth hadn't won since October until they faced Tottenham. West Ham hadn't won a game in God knows how long until they faced Tottenham. So, yeah, that's just the way that Tottenham are, unfortunately. And anybody that watches the channel again will know that I've somewhat defended Thomas Frank, and I've somewhat been a little sympathetic towards Thomas Frank on this channel in defending him and his current position as the Tottenham head coach. Although they seem to be doing pretty well in Europe. So, yeah, crazy, right? But at the same time, in saying that, Bournemouth will be tough opposition. Being away from home as well for Liverpool is going to be difficult. But there is no doubt in my mind, Liverpool can get the win. Liverpool can get the job done. But we need to take inspiration. We need to take all the positives from our win last night. And we need to carry it over from the Champions League to the Premier League to have any hope of doing that. But yeah, I'm happy. This has actually been a very happy, positive stream today with very little negative or any little nagging sort of feeling in regard to this performance and result, which actually makes a very nice and welcome change, doesn't it? It makes a nice and welcome change that we've actually had a very nice, positive stream in which we have talked about Liverpool in a good and positive light. It makes a lovely change. A lovely, lovely change. And long may it continue, by the way. Long may it continue. I want to see more of these performances. I want to see more of these results. Because at the end of the day, we are Liverpool Football Club. We have no agendas here on this channel, at least. We have no biases. we just call it as we see it. We talk about it as we see it. And this, like I say, has been very lovely to have been a part of in terms of talking about Liverpool playing very, very well, winning the game comfortably, and hopefully a brighter future for the end of the season. Hopefully we can finish the season off strong. Like I say, as far as chances for the Champions League goes, look, it may be getting a bit ahead of ourselves. It may be looking a bit too far down the line, but there is an opportunity for Liverpool to win it here. There is an opportunity for Liverpool to be lifting their 7th Champions League trophy in their history at the end of the season. There's always a chance. Don't ever rule out Liverpool Football Club. Don't ever rule out someone who is considered a slight outsider in this competition, because slight outsiders have won this competition numerous times down the years. But it's going to rely on whether this manager or not sticks to this system, sticks to the way that we're playing right now, and doesn't have this ego trip that he has suffered with throughout most of this season, which has been, this isn't the way I want to play. I know we won, but this isn't the way that I want to play. So we're going to go back to possession-based. We're going to go back to being all-out attack. We're going to go back to pressing from the front. It doesn't suit this team. It doesn't suit the squad. The squad look uncomfortable when that happens. Play to everybody's strengths. Play a comfortable system and look at how we flourish. And the only frustrating thing about last night is just questioning where this kind of performance has been all season long. Not just from the players, but from the manager as well. But that's too much of a negative to finish this stream on. The positive is that Liverpool win. Liverpool get 3 points. Liverpool put in a brilliant performance overall. An all-round team performance. Some standout performers in there as well. And Liverpool are up to 4th in the Champions League phase of the competition so far. Qarabag up next in the Champions League in the final game of the league phase. It should be a win. Should be a win for Liverpool that will see us comfortably in the round of 16 stage of the competition. Hopefully that will be the case. Obviously, only time will tell on that one. We obviously face them next Wednesday, I believe. It's either the Wednesday or the Tuesday. I think it's the 28th, which will make it the Wednesday. So is it Wednesday or Tuesday? Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I thought with us maybe playing Wednesday, it might be Tuesday and alternate. Especially with us playing Saturday night, I thought it might be Tuesday. Also, just on a slightly unrelated note, but still related. I thought the tifo of the Beatles was absolutely incredible last night. I actually rated the Beatles tifo that Marseille unveiled. I thought that was pretty damn cool, in all honesty. But yes, just remembered that. But yeah, Liverpool win, massive 3 points, puts us in good stead to qualify automatically for the round of 16 stage of this year's competition. Hopefully we can get the job done and dusted against Qarabag next week. But before then, of course, we've got Premier League matters to attend to, and Bournemouth are next up for the Reds. So fingers crossed we can get a good result there. Fingers crossed we can get our Premier League season back on track as well. And hopefully we can put some positivity back into a season that so far has been a bit of a train wreck. But fingers crossed that Arne Slot and Liverpool have finally figured out a solution to the problems that the Reds have been facing for the majority of last season. Dean says, thanks for an amazing stream, Fletch. Thank you, my friend. Like I say, thank you to each and every single one of you, as well as Dean, of course, for being here with us and making it an amazing stream. Been nice to be positive. It's been nice to have a positive Liverpool stream for a change. Big up to each and every single one of you. Like I say, make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already on the way out, and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Cannot thank you enough for the love and support that the channel has been receiving. It's absolutely amazing from each and every single one of you. Big up to yourselves. Big up to you for watching, listening, taking time out your schedules to listen to the ramblings of this guy. More stuff coming up this week. Like I say, we've got Premier League predictions video coming up probably tomorrow now. It will probably be tomorrow that will come out. So we've got that to look forward to tomorrow. We'll have the Liverpool versus Bournemouth reaction. It will probably be video on Sunday. I probably won't have time to do it Saturday night. So it probably will be Sunday morning that will go out, and it'll probably be a video. But I am looking to obviously stream Monday. We will talk more Liverpool stuff Monday. And obviously anything and everything that breaks in between then and there, we'll get around to at some point. But yes, more content coming up this week, more content coming up next week. Like I say, stay tuned to the channel for all of that. If you enjoyed the video, like I say, like ratings always appreciated. Subscriptions, obviously, absolutely amazing from each and every single one of you. Like I said, big up to each and every single one of you in the chat for making this stream amazing. As always, I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks live stream, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon. Take care.